The term death by tourism is very appropriate, as uncontrolled tourism growth can pollute and destroy the very product tourists are paying for: the pristine beaches, beautiful reefs, or local marketplace. As international, regional, and domestic tourism increases, the industry faces challenges in delivering quality products that fulfill the customers' expectations. If the tourist product is jeopardized by uncontrolled growth, the price tourists are willing to pay will be reduced. Our customers will simply turn away from the destination altogether. To avoid negative impacts, the tourist industry must embrace a more sustainable form of tourism. Sustainability schemes and certification processes are among the avenues promoted by the industry and some governments to build a more sustainable tourist industry, brand products, and also maintain long-term profitability. Such schemes have been established throughout the tourist industry over the past decades, with hundreds of programs specific to particular tour operators, destinations, hotel chains, and countries. Tourist sustainability certification can be described as the process of assuring industry and consumers that the assessed company has met a set of minimum standards. The purpose of certification has been to achieve voluntary standards which meets or exceeds baseline standards or legislation. The sustainability certification schemes can be divided into three main types. The first level certification involves a tourist destination or business that has developed its own sustainability management system. It might be developed to fit own needs or political or sector-specific priorities. The quality of the scheme in this level is not verified by any external organization. Therefore, there's a risk that the scheme might not meet national or international norms and standards. If the scheme only exists as a written document with no tangible actions and results, it could be labeled greenwash, implying that it will not change anything towards improving sustainability. However, a well-thought-out plan can make a change towards sustainability, even for this kind of certification system. The second level of certification is where a local or international organization develops a set of criteria for business to meet. It could be based on local needs and priorities and may even follow international standards. The organization responsible for the content or the criteria will check and approve the destination or business. If the criteria are well thought out, they could be a useful tool towards sustainability. Again, the certification document needs to be followed by tangible action and result. If not, it could also be labeled as greenwash. The third level certification is much like the second certification level. However, a major difference lies in the control. As soon as a tourist destination has implemented a set of criteria developed by an international independent organization, a third-party verifier, a so-called auditor, will assess whether that destination or business meets the developed criteria. This adds some credibility to the system, as the auditor has no connection to the destination or business, or the organization responsible for developing the criteria. Most international certification systems such as Green Globe, EarthCheck, Green Key, and Travel Life follow this practice. Across the tourism industry, these different sustainability certification schemes have been adapted, and the required practices promoted as standard operating procedures at hotels. For example, in Europe, where water-conserving fittings, energy-saving technologies, linen reuse, etc. have been implemented. Particular elements of the sustainability management plans have enabled companies to reduce cost, mainly as it relates to water, waste, and energy. In addition, some hotels and destinations have used the certification schemes as an integrated aspect of marketing and strengthening its relationship with local and international stakeholders. To discuss the potential of sustainability certification schemes and to get a better understanding of such schemes, I've invited an expert and long-term auditor from the international organizations, Niels Riis Jensen, to talk to me. Do we have evidence to show that my friends in Zanzibar or elsewhere in the region, if they turned on to become a certified hotel using third-party system, would they gain more customers?
We have no evidence that there's more customers coming to hotels or using tour operators that are sustainable. And yet there's indicators. There's a major tour operator here in Scandinavia. They're sending out questionnaires after the guests have been on vacation. And one of the questionnaires is, we are a certified Travelife tour operator. We're working with sustainability. Is that an issue when you booked your trip? Yes, it's an indicator, it's not science, but it is 65% of all the customers, 7,000 questionnaires out, 65% of the customers says, yes, it played a role.
When I go to a hotel and I see a certain logo certifying them as sustainable tourist hotel, but they have different names, Green Key Hotels or Travelife or something else. Do they all adhere to the exact same standards, or are they different?
Yeah, they have GSTC criteria is a set of criteria, some you have to do and others that you can do. And how you develop and how you build up your criteria set is up to the Green Globe, Green Key, Travelife, EarthCheck, the biggest ones on the market at the moment. All the local NGO developing exactly the same type of criteria. So there's differences, but overall, if you can see that that organization, that NGO is GSTC approved, then I will know that they have been gone through a lengthy process in making sure that it's a quality certification product they're developing.
So we are talking about certification of hotels, destinations, tour operators, and maybe more. What's the difference between certification at those three different levels, for example?
The overall destination is a complete different concept, because a destination combines of so many things in civil society. How do you approach the whole issue of environmental and also the ethics there? It's on a bigger level. We're going up and looking down at the whole destination. How do we make this sustainable? And sustainable certification of destinations is a hot issue. Everybody likes to talk about it, everybody likes to act upon it, but it's very difficult. A destination can be 5 or 6 municipalities with their own agenda. So doing a destination certification program is a lengthy and costly process. But going on to the businesses, a tour operator, a travel agent, and accommodation provider, it's more easy. It's because it's his premises. It's more tangible.
In this particular course, we are focusing a lot on the environmental health issues. So that could be chemicals and water and waste and disease, spreading insects and so on. Are they part of a certification?
When a hotel open, guests comes in, they pollute, and you're looking at each of the sectors within the hotel. How do they pollute, and how can you minimize? And that's one of the things, is the environmental things. What about cleaning materials? Cleaning materials is one of the biggest issues. Cleaning materials, you are putting too much cleaning materials into the water, so the cleaning materials goes out again, and if there's no sewage that can take care of it, it goes out to the sea or out in the natural environment. So yes, there's reduction policies there, and criteria set of all the GSTC approved NGOs, it is that you have to reduce all the time.
So a hotel on Zanzibar that, in my eyes, do not look like they would live up to what you just explained. You know, keeping their chemicals under safe conditions and having a sewage system and a treatment facility, not letting waste into the water. So can they start becoming a certified hotel if what you're telling me is that as long as they improve, or do they have to live up to a certain minimum before they can enter a sustainability certification?
No. They have to have up to a certain standard there, otherwise they cannot. What they can, many of the Travel Life, like Green Globe, then you can be a partner, saying we don't certify you because you cannot do what we tell you to do. But here you can be a partner, and we can work together towards. And then we'll give you 6 months, and you have to make sure that you're not using chemicals. You might have to make sure. Then there's a checklist saying you have to go in and prove this. So Travel Life, for instance, works together with the local company to raise their awareness up to the level where they can get an international certification there. But they cannot go in and be certified if there's something horrible wrong in it.
On Zanzibar, some of the tourist investors told me they were not really interested in certification of hotels or tour operators because it was very bureaucratic, a lot of training involved. They were afraid that people who would come and certify or audit would be corrupt. And also, many hotels were very small, and they don't believe they gain more business from entering into a certification system. There's a whole string of hotels along the coast. And their mindset is it costs a lot of money, it's bureaucratic to enter into a certification system. And if no one else is member, why should I become? Because they pollute and I don't. So I'm not going to save my business because there are 10 hotels on either side that keep polluting. Exactly. So they're not turned on to this idea.
Yeah, it's the classic things there. Oh, they're not doing it, why should I do it? You can say that in Zanzibar, the hotel association, a tourism association can say, wow, let's pool our knowledge together, and let's all the small lovely hotels along the beach, let's have a talk, and together we can work. Because just like in quality, just like in marketing, yes, you're independent hotels competing with each other, that's fine, but you have a destination. The project you're selling is the coral reef, and if the destination, if all the 10 hotels are destroying the very thing the tourists come to see, then it's not only your hotel, but it's the 9 other hotels that will fail and have to close. So for Zanzibar, my recommendation, or for any other destination around the world thinking about this sustainable, you need to pull down together your resources. You have to, the association, all hotels, their friends, family, whatever, pull together and say, now we're 10 hotels. Okay, let's work together. Let's appoint a sustainable manager for the hotels there and make an action group and go through the criteria and saying, hey, wastewater, what do you do about that?
As mentioned by Niels Riis Jensen, limited documentation is available to argue that sustainability certification schemes have significantly positive impacts upon market shares, especially among small and medium-sized enterprises in low-income countries. This is supported by a survey of 120,000 hotel customers in the US, where it was found that although guests appreciate the prospects of green operations, it did not override considerations of price, facilities, rooms, food, and beverages in selecting a hotel. Internationally, it has been found that only a small percentage of customers are willing to pay extra for adherence to environmental and social standards. In a survey among tourists on Zanzibar, 60% described themselves as committed to environmental sustainability, but most delegate responsibility to their hotels to ensure such sustainability. A tourist enterprise in a low-income country might find limited incentives to invest in sustainability measures if this compromises short-term profitability and diverts investments away from known effective products and marketing investments, such as a bigger swimming pool. Similarly, if national policies and enforcement do not foster an environment for tourist development where an optimal use of resources is promoted and pollution taxed, a hotel following a sustainability scheme may find itself in unfair competition. However, certification schemes are likely to be part of continued effort to build a more sustainable tourist industry, but need to be adapted to a low-income context and hopefully with greater backing by policies and enforcement of regulations.